All of you, when I said reach as high as you can, you did. And then I said, could you reach a little higher? You did. And I think that's a pretty good way of thinking of the work that we do.
So the purpose was to give an opportunity for our partner organizations, the Fem Defenders, to meet, to connect, to share with each other and learn new ways to work with gender-based violence.
I have rare opportunities to travel on this kind of events, and actually in 20 years that I'm working, I think this is one of the very few opportunities that I participate in such a study group.
We've had some very good sessions in which I've had a lot to learn. It's been quite a challenging experience in terms of trying to reflect on what can we do better when we go home, or what are we doing in the right way, and we should continue.
You come from different countries, regions, but still you discover that you have a lot in common, and that you face, many of the problems you face are similar.
Talking about sexual harassments on children, and for example here we're talking that a female cousin, she is sexually abusing a child, her cousin. So it's two things, it's sexual abuse from a relative and also a female.
Choosing the topics that we are trying to working on, like gender-based violence, sexual violence.
On one side, women are encouraged to report and to involve themselves in the criminal proceedings, thus leading to more efficient penalty policy in the country and affecting in the overall prevention of gender-based violence, I would say.
Earlier, some stereotypes about maybe women's life in other or in other countries, in other European countries, it would be different. But listening to the experience of the Balkans, Serbia, Albania, all of the others, that they have the same struggles. Maybe the woman killing is under different justifications. In the Arab world, it's more under the justification of honor, but it is, we always see it as woman killing.
We had this group work where the participants were to identify some key principles for a strengthening survivor-centered approach, or we called it a feminist approach, when they meet with survivors.
Solidarity, I think that it's crucial, because as a woman, whether you have institutional support or not, whether you have the family support or not, you can rely on the support from other women. I think that what could have been done differently is that we would have more time to reflect in groups.
What is our role to support
This is very
victims?
important. Zero tolerance to violence.
Yes, I think yes.
All experienced activists. And we have all brought something very important with us. Years of experience. I wish we would have more time to share that. Best practices, really.
Can we erase accessible?
Yeah, but you should erase that.
Adorable.
And affected. You can say affected.
One of the days we decided to invite an external trainer to bring in some new methods and knowledge to the participants, and we chose the model response-based practice.
You cannot understand women's resistance to violence without understanding the entire social context.
Actually, my biggest impression was with Dr. Alan.
So if your husband beats you up, and then, as one woman said to me, he wants to have sex on my body. After he beats me up, he always wants to have sex on my body, she said, which is a perfect expression in a way. So now, if you're that woman, where you live really matters a lot. Because if you live in a remote community in Watson Lake, and the police will not be there for 45 minutes, then kicking him in the nuts, screaming and yelling, pushing him away, running out of the house with your children still there is not a good option, because no one will be there to protect you. So how do you resist this assault then? You might, in that context, you might have to go limp in your body so you don't get injured. You might have to go someplace else in your mind. You might have to do what you have to do to get it over with as quickly as possible so you can make sure your kids are okay. In other words, the way in which the woman resists the rape depends heavily on the context and social setting she is in. It's more a matter of context than it is character.
Even when she do nothing in her body, but she actually resists. I'm thinking that when I go back to home, I will suggest on my supervisor to train this part of resistance.
He's a very wide experience, with a very wide experience, and he actually gave us new perspectives and new tools to search about. And for me personally, he motivated me to learn more about resistance of women survivors on violence, and to read more and to seek for more information. And I think it's very good.
His lecture was at the same time a therapy for all of us there present in the room, but at the same time it made me realize that the context where we work is very important. It's maybe the most important element which we should not forget.
Sorry, man. Were you coming out of the female toilet?
I have right to use whichever toilets I want.
Were you looking at the women over there?
One of the days we worked with prevention, how to prevent gender-based violence, and during one session, one of the participants, she led us in an exercise called forum theater.
Don't touch me, you're sick.
No.
You're sick.
I can really say it, and honestly, it was maybe one of the most valuable learning trips that I have done.
We live now in times of war in almost every continent, and women, unfortunately, are not the players. We are not making the decisions. I am aware that I might not be alive to see this situation change, but this will not stop me from contributing to making women players of peace, and not only that, but well-being, tolerance and diversity.